Whether the team is giving us the highest of highs or the bluest of blues, we'll cover it all here on Commanders Nightly News. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. The stage is set. This is the most energy I've felt from a primetime game for the Commanders in quite some time. I think the last time I felt this type of energy for a primetime game featuring the Commanders was all the way back in 2016, the opening game of the season versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. We were coming off of a season where we made the postseason. I think that was the first night that, if I'm not mistaken, don't get me wrong, Josh Norman had been signed in the offseason, and we had high hopes for the season. The Steelers were coming in on a Monday night. You waited all the way, and I hope I'm not foreshadowing what happens tonight, but you waited all week one, and you watched all the games, and you waited until Monday only to get your ass kicked. That's not this. That's not this. But I remember how excited, how hyped we were with Josh Norman and coming off of a playoff season, and you like that and all of that bullshit, only to get twerked on that night. But there was an energy, there was a buzz going into that Monday night game. Now, you know, the Steelers will come take your stadium over. A little bit different set of circumstances. That's not what the Bears are. That's not the type of time the Bears are on. Now, that's not what we expect from them, right? That's not what they do. So this is a lot different than that. But I only bring that game up to illustrate that this game right now has the energy of a big time matchup, and I haven't seen the likes of this since almost a decade ago. There's a I'm trying to find that one word to capture how it is I feel about the feeling in the air. It feels magical. It feels mystical tonight. Like the Bears have no idea what they're walking into. Kind of overcast, little bit of wet weather. We're wearing the black unis. It's a blackout game. The team has leaned into that energy. It feels like it could get really dark for the Bears tonight. But we have to do what we got to do, and that's the thing that scares me. It's the only reason that gives me pause. I want to be super confident that we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But this team has to prove it to us. They haven't done that this season. We haven't won 2 games in a row. We haven't stepped on someone's neck this season. Raiders, sort of, kind of, right? But we haven't put it together this season yet. Can we finally do it here and string together our first win streak of the season and get something going? The opportunity is here. You get this one, the Cowboys are next. And again, that's a tough game. We'll get to the Cowboys when we get there. I know you're excited that they lost. You're excited the Eagles lost. Don't let the Eagles off the hook by losing this game. Don't let them off the hook. They got to feel the sting and the weight of losing to the Giants. The only way that happens is if we take advantage of the opportunity that is then presented to us. We have an opportunity to go out here and make a statement. And I've already talked about making this statement. It's not just to the NFC East. It's not just to the Eagles. It's not just to the conference. It's to the entire league. That we're a legitimate outfit. The energy that I feel from this game in particular feels different. We're building something at Northwest, by the way, ladies and gents. We are undefeated at home this season. A perfect sparkling 2-0 with a chance to make it 3-0 in a statement game, in an environment, on a stage with bright lights that we need to take advantage of. I know for a fact that when I turn my television on tonight, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman in the booth, which means it's a big-time game, they're going to say the energy in this building is unlike what we've seen here in the past. Troy Aikman might even go back to his old days at RFK. I expect that type of statement to be made because of the atmosphere that they're going to walk into today. That's how I feel about this. I could be wrong, and the energy that I'm feeling is just me, right? It could just be me. I don't get that sense. I've been doing this for too long. I've been a fan of this team for too long. I've seen it all. I've done it all. This isn't that. This feels like a big game for week 6 against a team that's hasn't won anything, hasn't done anything. For a week 6 matchup, this feels pretty big. Now we need to go out and play like it's a pretty big game. Take care of the football. Eliminate the penalties, the mistakes, the drop passes, the blown assignments, the missed tackles. Do the things that we know we are capable of doing. Again, I can't stress this enough. The Bears are more talented than we are. If you want to debate that, go right ahead. Knock yourself out. But they have more talent than we do. They should. They've had more first-round picks. They've drafted number 1 overall multiple times. They traded one of them away to Carolina. They've been strapped with first-round picks because they've sucked ass each of the last 5 to 7 years. So they should have more talent than us. Not that we've been much better. Last year was our first time being actually good, but we're not on the same level. Last year, took us to a whole different stratosphere. We're not in the same realm as this Bears team. But they don't believe that. They think they're coming in here to make a statement. We're looking to make a statement. So are they. The difference is we just went to an NFC Championship game and we know we're capable. They don't know that they're capable. They're trying to figure it out. Well, not on our watch. You figure that shit out next week or the week after that or the week after that or the week after that. But not here, not in our building. You figure that shit out. We got to make sure that we get off to a fast start. What I don't want to see is this team coming out lethargically again. I've already told you we're going to start on defense. No matter what. No matter who wins the toss, we're starting on defense in this game. Go out and get a stop, man. Set the tone for the game. Get after these boys. Limit their run game. Limit it to next to nothing. Put them in those 3rd and long situations. My guess is the very first play, you're going to get Caleb Williams, play action fake boot out to the right with the tight end running into the flats. Don't give up 13 yards on that bullshit. That's my guess. If I had to guess the opening play for the script, the opening script for the Bears, they're going to take advantage of our aggressiveness wanting to stop the run. They're going to go boot to the left. He's going to come out to the right. Tight end's going to come across the formation into the flats. Probably going to be wide ass open. He's going to dump it down to him. He's going to run for a gain of 15, 13, 15. And that's how they're going to start their night. We got to be ready. Don't let them off to a fast start. My hope is that they come out and they try to establish the run on first down on the first play of the game, and we shut that shit down and we get the crowd into it, and then we go from there. That's my hope. My guess is that they're going to come with a boot because they know we stopped the run and we're going to try to stop the run, and they're going to play on that aggression, get him out of the pocket just like Geno Smith did. They watch film. They've had an extra week to prepare. I don't think they're going to run their head up against a brick wall on the first play of the game. They're going to do what the Raiders did and go bootleg and see if they can get somebody wide ass open like the Raiders did and go get a massive gain. And if not, you got the tight end right in front of Caleb Williams. Take the easy throw, get the first down, and get into a rhythm offensively. That's what they're going to try to do. We got to get off to a fast start. We got to get off to a fast start. If we get off to a fast start in this game, we got a chance to really take it to them. I mean, put the screws to these boys. But it starts with us really honing in on the attention to detail. I like this team at home this season. They've been really good. We've gotten off to fast starts at home this season. I don't know if Cliff's going to come out and run the ball like we all would like him to. I don't know what the beginning of this game is going to look like. But I do know this. Once we settled into this ball game, we got to take control. If we haven't already, from the word go, taken control of this game, if we don't start fast, once this game settles in, we have to take control of this football game. We got to dominate. We're better on special teams than the Bears. We're going to talk about their special team situation. We're better than them on special teams. We're better than them on the defensive side of the football, contrary to popular belief. They got the number 31st ranked rush defense in football. They're one of the worst sack teams in the NFL. We have a better defense than the Bears do. The only thing they do better than us on defense, well, the only two things they do better than us on defense is get off the field on third downs and force turnovers. Those are the two things that they can hang their hat on. Well, don't let them in this game. Get first downs on first downs. Get first downs on second down. And in the event that you end up in the third down, make it a third and short or manageable, one that you can handle and convert. Don't be in third and long. That's when they are at their best. We've talked about these things already, though. This game presents the Commanders with an opportunity that 2 weeks ago we didn't think we would have. Not this soon, at least. None of you, me included, none of you, none of us. Let me not separate myself from the rest of you here, because I wasn't freaking out, but I didn't think we would have a chance to get a slice of first place after the Eagles got off to a 4-0 start and we were 2-2. You wouldn't have got me to believe that the Eagles would drop 2 straight, especially with the Giants coming up on the schedule. I predicted they'd lose to the Denver Broncos. I predicted that. Didn't predict them losing to the New York Giants on the Thursday night, though. But here we are. Here we are with an opportunity to do something that 2 weeks ago seemed like a foreign thing to think. Seemed like an afterthought. Seemed so distant that you couldn't even see it. Now, here we are. How quick things can change in the National Football League. Let's go seize the opportunity. Let's go conquer the night. It's a blackout. Let's turn the lights out on these Bears. Put them sub 500. Get to 2 games over 500. Establish some consistency this season. Get our first 2-game win streak. Let's conquer the night. Let's go conquer the night. Y'all with it? Because I am. Let's get it. In other news, we heard from the team as to what is going to happen from a practice squad perspective being pulled up. So let's take a look at that real quick. The team put this out less than an hour ago. We have elevated wide receiver Ja'Cory Brooks and wide receiver Tay Martin from the practice squad. Guard Sam Cosmi, knee has been downgraded to out. This is significant. One, you see this, and the first thing your brain starts to do is you go, wait a minute. This is Ja'Cory Brooks' first game being activated for. Why are you activating 2 receivers? Is Debo not playing? And so let's go to this Adam Schefter 2-pack real quick, just so we can clarify and quill any discussions of Debo potentially being out. Adam Schefter tweeted this out not too long before the Commanders put out their update. Commanders wide receiver Deebo Samuel listed as questionable for tonight's game against the Bears due to a heel injury, is expected to play per ESPN's Lisa Salters. Okay. So so going back to this, the two receivers have nothing to do with Deebo, which leads us to believe that Chris Moore finally is taking that demotion down to inactive, healthy scratch. We're one step closer to this man never having to see the field again in a Washington Commanders uniform. All right. So they're going to give the young fella an opportunity. Don't think he's going to see the field offensively. I could be wrong. They could give the young fella, Ja'Cory Brooks, an opportunity. But I think Tay Martin, and I've said this already, Tay Martin has earned every bit of that Chris Moore opportunity. Those 34 reps that Chris Moore was getting and those 3 or 4 targets he was getting a game, give them shits to Tay Martin. Tay Martin has played exceptional on special teams. He's blocked his ass off on these wide receiver screens in the run game, and he's caught the football when it came to him. So give Tay Martin those reps. I'm all for it. Looks like they're going to do that tonight. Ask and you shall receive. Now let's see what Tay Martin does with the opportunity. And then Ja'Cory Brooks is going to play some special teams. And if his number gets called to go out there, maybe he'll block a guy or two. Maybe he'll even catch a pass. I doubt that seriously, but we'll see. But in any event, this feels good to know that Chris Moore can't sabotage the game tonight, right? As for Sam Cosmi, we kind of figured he wasn't going to play once he was ruled doubtful. My whole thought process once he wasn't all in for week 1 and found himself on the PUP list to start. I told you guys a million times, week 7 against Dallas. That was the target date for me. He had to miss the first 4 weeks being on the PUP list to start the season off. And then I said, when they open up that window, they're probably going to take the full 3-week allotment. I told you at the beginning of this week when DQ spoke and he said, yeah, Cosmi's been taking reps with the practice squad, scout team. And he's been, getting spot duty with the starter group, but he's really been working with the scout team and the second team offense. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that brother ain't playing this week. Next week is the week for Sam Cosmi. Next week is when he comes back. And Noah Brown is definitely back next week. Terry, don't know. We'll see. But Cosmi being downgraded to out, the good thing about this is if you weren't going to have Chris Rodriguez, right? And just taking a quick peek-see at the injury report, if you don't remember what it looked like. If you weren't going to have Chris Rodriguez, who didn't practice all week, you would have had a running back be active. A Chase Edmonds would have been active with those 2 receivers. He would have been activated if Chris Rodriguez was down. So that's a good sign that Chris Rodriguez is probably going to go. And we knew that the doubtful for Sam Cosmi was more likely than not an out for him. Right. So, like I told you guys during the Friday or Saturday show, this was a real non-threatening injury report. We knew Terry and Noah were out. Cosmi was probably going to join them. I told you, C-Rod and Deebo, until they're not playing, I expect them to play. And then, the extra day definitely helped both of those guys get out there. And then Bates and Daniels weren't listed on the injury report in terms of a designation. So those guys ready to go. So just wanted to reiterate that we are good from an injury standpoint. Now we need to go out and be good on the football field. And I thought this was an interesting tidbit here from Nikki Javala, a little fun fact just to throw out here. Says, this is from Nikki Javala. She posted this a little bit earlier today. Fun fact, tonight's game will be the first time since 1997 the Bears and Commanders will have both of their same starting quarterbacks in consecutive meetings. The teams have played 13 other times in between. And you go all the way back to 1996, Gus Frerotte versus Eric Kramer, and 97, Gus Frerotte versus Eric Kramer was the last time these two teams met and the same 2 quarterbacks were the starting quarterbacks. So you got to remember the Commanders / Redskins / football team, the Bears and the Browns have probably seen the most quarterback turnover at their respective positions in the league. No one's had more starting quarterbacks since 2000 than the Browns. I can't imagine us and the Bears being that far behind. The Raiders are probably somewhere in that mix, but the Raiders had consistency several times. Derek Carr, and they had Rich Gannon early in the 2000s. The Commanders, Bears, and the Browns have never really had consistency. The Bears had Jay Cutler for a little while, which is why I think they'll be a little bit further down the list. But, they've had a bunch of different guys. And as you can see, Jay Cutler's name is littered up and down this thing. You had Rex Grossman's name for them is up and down this thing a couple times. Mitchell Trubisky's on this thing once. Fields is up here twice. But the names for the Commanders seems to change a bunch, right? It's Kirk Cousins might be the only name up here twice, along with Gus Frerotte. It's crazy how much turnover this team has seen at the quarterback position, but all of that is done now, right? So let's just go through these real quick. I just find this to be interesting. So 99, Brad Johnson versus Shane Matthews. 2001. So can you name the head coach of these teams? 99, who was the head coach of that team? You should know, right? 2001, who was the head coach of that team? Tony Banks versus Jim Miller. I mean, Tony Banks starting should tell you all you need to know about who the head coach was, right? Jim Miller. I mean, these are some names that most of you are like, who? I get it. I'm showing my age right here. Yes, Tim Hasselbeck. That Tim Hasselbeck of ESPN. Yes, that Tim Hasselbeck did play quarterback here for the Commanders. Yes, he did. And it was nasty. Versus Rex Grossman. A past Commanders quarterback or Redskin quarterback against a future Redskins quarterback in Rex Grossman. 04, Mark Brunell versus Jonathan Quinn, the medicine man. Yeah, Jonathan Quinn, another blast from the past name for Chicago Bears fans. 05, P-Ram versus Kyle Orton. Wow, Kyle Orton and P-Ram. 2007, J-Cam and Rex Grossman. So the same coach from 04 to 07 coached all three of these games, so you don't need to know. Guess, who was the coach in 03, right? Who was the coach in 03? Crazy that the same guy that was coaching in 99 wasn't coaching in 01, wasn't coaching in 03, wasn't coaching in 04. That's how we used to change coaches like we change underwear around these parts. Jason Campbell, J-Cam versus Rex Grossman. That's crazy that we had matchups against them in 04 and 05, and Grossman, who was the quarterback in 03, wasn't the quarterback for the team in 04 and 05, but then was the quarterback for the Bears in 07. That's wild. Then you got 2010, Donovan McNabb versus Jay Cutler. That's some nasty work. We had McNabb out there at the quarterback position. The Eagles knew. Look, Andy Reid knew what he was doing. Gave us some nasty, sad old McNabb versus Jay Cutler. Cutler, again, see, they had a run here with Cutler at quarterback. We went to Griffin in 2013. So he was against Cutler. Same coach for those two games. Different coach in 2015. Kirk Cousins versus Jay Cutler. So that was the last time we saw Jay Cutler. Kirk Cousins in 2016 versus Matt Barkley. Wow, that is some truly despicable work. Matt Barkley out here. Yikes. 2019, Case Keenum versus Mitchell Trubisky. We were so sad in 2019. Yikes. So sad in 2019. 2022, that must have been early in the season because you remember late in 19, it was all Dwayne Haskins. So this Case Keenum, this had to be early in the season when Jay still had his job, which Jay was fired by week 5, I believe. Week 5, I think he got fired after the Patriots game when he started Colt. He knew he was getting fired. So he's like, I'm going out with my boy. Or maybe, I don't think they started Dwayne right after he got fired. So the case could have still started probably right after. I think it was like maybe another 3 weeks or so before Dwayne finally got to start. Maybe 4 weeks after that, Dwayne got to start finally. Finished up the season. 2022, Carson Wentz versus Justin Fields. That was a Thursday night disaster, but we won. It was nasty, but we won. 2023, Sam Howell versus Justin Fields. That was a disaster on a Monday night. Carson. Yeah, both of these were Thursday nights, right? The Carson Wentz one versus Justin Fields was a Thursday night. It was nasty, but we won. The Sam Howell versus Justin Fields was nasty, and we got our doors blown off. That was right after the Eagles' near win in overtime because old Ron Rivera didn't have the stones to go for it to 2-point conversion in regulation. And then they got a tired team on Thursday and they whooped our ass. It was one of the more embarrassing losses as a fan I think most of us have endured over the last 5 seasons or so. It doesn't get much worse than what happened to us on that. I remember taking calls 2 days after. We were still feeling the effects. We took calls and shit after that game. It was rough. Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams last year, obviously, and then Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams this year. So how many quarterbacks did the Commanders start? And how many did the Bears start in this sequence here? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many different ones, I should say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14 different quarterbacks have started in that 20-year span, roughly. 30-year span, excuse me, basically. 14 quarterbacks for the Commanders. Let's see how many for the Bears. I bet you the number is less because of Jay Cutler and Justin Fields. 1, 2, 3, and Rex Grossman. I don't want to leave Rex. He's got multiple in here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 for the Bears, 14 different signal callers for the Commanders in that stretch of what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 different games, 14 different starting quarterbacks for the Commanders, and 11 different starting quarterbacks for the Bears. So I thought that was fun. Shout out to Nikki Javala for blessing us with that information. So enough of me rambling. I just wanted to come on and kind of set the table for tonight. Like, this feels like a big one, man. We got to have it. And I know this fan base can be all over the place, but it's a passionate fan base that wants to win. And we got to have it tonight. We're at home. We got a great opportunity to get, 2 in a row, to build some consistency. Great opportunity within the division to separate ourselves from Dallas while closing the gap on Philadelphia and getting a share of first place. Also have a chance to really climb up in the NFC rankings, to be within a game of Tampa Bay for the number 1 spot in the conference. There's so many opportunities here for us. We talked about, needing to get back to 500 within the conference. Right now we're 1-2. We need to get back to 500 there and start to, stack some wins within the NFC. There's so many things that would be such a big get for us with the win tonight. And you just can't miss this opportunity if you're the Commanders. You can't let this slip through your fingers. You got to come out here with laser-like focus, understanding the mission, understanding the assignment, and go out and execute. You do that, and I've stated this enough times that you probably are sick and tired of hearing me say this, but we are the better team. And if you are who you say you are, prove it. You say you're a heavy hitter. You say that you are BMFs. Prove it. Here's another opportunity on a big stage with bright lights. Everybody's watching. You say you're a BMF? You got BMFs littered across that locker room? You say you're a heavy hitter. Heavy hitters don't lose games at home to teams that they're supposed to beat that are not in their division. When you play a team in your division, all bets are off. The Bills lost at home last week to the Patriots. Most people didn't see that coming. That's family business, though. You keep your nose out of people's business where it don't belong, right? You don't know nothing about that family business. You don't know how New England plays the Bills, whether they're good or not. So stay out of their business. This ain't that, right? This is not that. This is a team that you're better than at home. If you are who you say you are, prove it. You a heavy hitter? Prove it. Heavy hitters take care of non-heavy hitters at the crib. The Bears are not, I repeat, not a heavy hitter. Prove it tonight. Prove it. You are who you say you are. Great opportunity to show everyone what we're about. Prove it. The last showing on primetime wasn't a good one. That's not indicative of who we really are. Here's an opportunity for you to right or wrong. If you are who you say you are, prove it. Colton Wheeler, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Mob, you know what to do. Show Colton some love. Welcome with open arms. So glad to have you on board. Welcome to the squad, Colton Wheeler. Colton Wheeler, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being the newest member of the MOBB, who writes, makes me nervous tonight knowing the Bears are coming off the bye, +1 and healthy, but no excuses. Let's get it done. Facts. Yeah, it sucks, but this is going to be our existence this year. The extra day to prepare for the Bears, to rest up, that helps us too. So it's a good thing. At least we got that. You know, they get it too, but at least we get that. Now, we're going to play 4 teams coming off of byes this year. Really 3, because the Broncos will be coming off of a bye. The same week we'll be coming off of a bye in week number 13. So both of us have a week 12 bye. We both will be coming off that bye in week 12 or 13. And so that doesn't really count. You both have the same amount of requisite rest and time to prepare for the game. But I don't care anything about that. No, this is what we got to do this year. We'll be playing 2 other teams coming off of byes this season. So get used to it. Get used to it. Figure out a way to get it done. I think we got the Giants coming off their bye in week 15. I think we got the Vikings coming off their bye later on in the season as well, in addition to the Broncos. I think. I could be wrong. Whatever the case may be. Might be Seattle coming off their bye in week 8, in between the Chiefs and the Lions. Like I said, whatever that looks like, I think they're week 9. I think the Chiefs are week 8. Seahawks are week 9, and the Lions are week 10, and then the Dolphins are week 11. Whatever the case may be, we got to get used to playing teams. We got the most games against teams coming off of byes in the NFL. So no excuses here. Find a way to get it done. All right. By the way, do you have a calendar where you post your schedule or scheduled streams? I don't allow notifications from YouTube. I don't, because a lot of times my schedule is all scrambled. So here's what you got to know. Every day during the week, you're going to get a Commanders Nightly News. Will it be live? Will it not be live? Once I reintroduce the podcast, it probably won't be live like it's been now, because I have extra time because I'm not doing a podcast right now. But once I reintroduce the podcast into my schedule, this will probably be an upload, right? It won't be a live stream. I'll have to make it special. Like, I never know when Candy's coming on, when her schedule aligns with mine, and you know, she's able to come on and do the show. So hard for me to be able to say when that's going to happen, but that's going to be on a Wednesday when it does happen. Same thing could be said for like the skill game. You're going to get that before every primetime game. So Mondays, Thursdays, you're going to get it for every Commander game as well. That kind of intersected today because Commanders game is on a Monday night. So that's a 2-for-1 special there. But, you know, it's kind of hard for me to tell you exactly when, because my schedule's all over the place. So it sucks that, you know, you don't have the notifications, but you have your reasonings as to why, and that's cool. Just check periodically to see what's going on. That's the best thing I could tell you, is to just check, you know. But in any event, man, appreciate you, Colton, and I look forward to chopping up. I can tell you this: I will be live tonight after the game, and you know I'm live after every Commanders game, right? Got to go do Bleacher Report for 20 to 30 minutes, right? And then as soon as I'm done with that, I'm coming straight to y'all. So you know where to find me after the game, basically. So either you can find me over on Bleacher Report, or then you can come here, and then we're going to get to the reels. Win, lose, or draw. You know where to find me. So don't be nervous. Either they're going to get it done or they're not. I've seen people like, if we lose this game, our season's over. Like, no, it's not. It's not. It's going to suck really bad because now you got to deal with Bears fans for the rest of the year, right? For the rest of eternity, you're going to have to deal with Bears fans if they win this game, right? All the conversations about Jaden and like all that shit that they fabricate, the whole dynamic of Jaden versus Caleb, which that's not a thing for us. That's a thing for them. Like, we want Caleb to go out there and be great. We got no animosity towards him. We know so this is the thing. We're not insecure like Bears fans are. Bears fans are insecure and they project their insecurities off on us. They try to, at least. We know what our quarterback is. We know we got one of them ones. So we don't have to lift our quarterback up at the expense of someone else's quarterback. Patriots fans are starting to get into this fray now that Drake May's playing well. I love Drake May. I've said this. I told everyone that you couldn't go wrong with any of the quarterbacks that you had at your disposal. I said, Caleb's going 1. You can't go wrong with Drake May or Jaden Daniels. They're both going to be really good NFL quarterbacks. I told you guys that. I told you that I thought Drake May would have a higher ceiling than Jaden. I was wrong. I've already given up my 00 for that. But Drake May's ceiling is extremely high, and you're seeing it right now. But Jaden's is even higher, okay? The only difference is Drake May's super young. So he may grow and get better, but Jaden is like that. He's cerebral. He's an assassin. He's a stone cold killer. And he's ours. So go into this game confident. No matter what happens. We need a win tonight like we need air to breathe. But if we don't get it, we're not going to die. We might feel like our season's on life support, which it's not. But that's the overreaction that you get. But I don't even want to think about, my brain ain't even wired to think that way. We beating these boys tonight, man, because we're the better team. And our GOAT is out there. Our demon is home. Our GOAT is on the field tonight in all black, dressed in all black like the Omen. He's showing up like the Reaper. And if the Bears aren't careful, he will damage their season again. He's in black for a reason tonight. They better mind their P's, right? And Q's and Y's and Z's. We got a demon on the loose. Door Gunner, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Door Gunner, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, in town with my Battle Black JD5 on, let's roll them. I love it. You know what to do, but I got to tell you anyway. Bring home the dub. Don't you leave that stadium without it. Don't you leave that stadium empty-handed. You bring that dub home with you. All right? And make as much noise. You should go home back to Florida with no voice. None. All right? Make as much noise as you can. Make it so tough on those boys. I want a hostile environment for them. JP, been a member, for 22 months or 20 months, Who writes, Lou, good to see you as always. Likewise, always great to hear from you, JP. We need this one bad with Dallas, KC, Seattle, and Detroit coming up on the schedule. Absolutely. Again, this feels like a non-negotiable. Like there's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to talk about. If you are what you say you are, then prove it. That's what it all boils down to for me. You say you're a heavy hitter, prove it. You say you got BMFs, prove it. If you are BMFs, as you say you are, what better stage than to put on and show that you're a heavy hitter than this one? Go out and do it. Seize the opportunity. Conquer the night. Just conquer the night. So much music in the air and lots of Ooh. Heat for the Bears everywhere. Just conquer the night. Just conquer the night. I also hope tonight isn't the last time ever we wear the battle blacks. I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be. I think they understand that there's a place for this. All they got to do is, I think the setup that they have right now is a good one, because you can wear the championship threads up to 3 times. You see what they're doing. So to me, it's a perfect setup. Leave it just the way it is. Like those don't have to become our standard uniforms. Keep these as, you know, an alternate that we can wear at least once a year. At least once a year. I don't think this is the last time you'll see the battle blacks. I know there are some of you that fear that this is it. I don't think so. I don't think they have any intentions of getting rid of this uniform. So we'll see what happens. But let's embrace the battle blacks tonight. Let's embrace the blackout. Let's conquer the night. Let's conquer the night. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. One thing before we get out of here, let's get a word from one of our sponsors. I'll come back on the other side and we'll close out the show. Sleeper. Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all of your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat in the games in real time with other users, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news and alerts right at your fingertips. Play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. So enjoy sports the way they were meant to, together. Download the #1 sports app today. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Use promo code LTN and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Sleeper. All right, so I said this on multiple streams. I'm saying it once more. The time for talking is done. It's almost 6 o'clock. The first game of the doubleheader starts at 7. Let's call it 7:15. Our game starts at around probably roughly 8:15 tonight. Time for talking is done. The scene is set. You know what it is. We know who the enemy is. You know what we got to do. You know we dressed in all black like the Omen. You know what time it is. It's the battle blacks. It's a blackout. We looking to conquer the night. You are who you say you are. Then prove it. Dispatch these boys and let's move on. These dudes are a blip on the radar. They're not on our level. We don't see them the same way they see us. We look at them as food. We look to eat tonight and then move on to the next. Let's treat them as such. If you are who you say you are, prove it. Let's get to 4-2, establish our first win streak of the season, get a slice of first place. Let's get active, man. It's time to turn it up this season. And let's not even make this one close. And I had a 2-pack from Adam Schefter earlier, and I didn't even get to the second piece of that 2-pack. So let me go back real quick and dive into the second piece of that 2-pack real fast. So Schefter also tweeted out, the Bears elevated defensive lineman Jonathan Ford and place kicker Jake Moody from their practice squad for Monday night's game against the Commanders. I don't know if that means their place kicker, Cairo Santos, won't be kicking tonight, but remember, he was on the injury report. They may just be playing it safe in the event that something happens to him. They got Moody activated so he can be ready to go in. The last thing you want to do with a kicker situation is not be prepared like the Giants were last year against us, not prepared, and all of a sudden you don't have a place kicker and you got to go for 2 every time. That can, or you can't kick field goals, right? It can really hurt you in a game. So I think I don't want to jump to conclusions and say that Cairo Santos isn't kicking, because he's way more accurate than Jake Moody is. But I'm not afraid of Cairo Santos, and I'm damn sure not afraid of Jake Moody. So advantage Commanders. Whether it's Santos or it's Moody, advantage Commanders. Dominate special teams, dominate the night, conquer the night. Let's go get us a dubski, man. Enough talking. Let's go get the dub and let's celebrate the night. I'm coming to y'all tonight with a drink in hand, spatula. Hopefully, if it's a 40 burger, you know I'm gonna have a spatula with me, right? You know we getting active on the grill. But if it's not, I'm gonna have a drink in my hand and a celebratory salute to all of y'all, and we gonna have ourselves a ball tonight. Don't let it be the alternative. I want the drink in my hand. I want to be talking reckless and crazy tonight. I want us to have a good old time tonight. Let's conquer the night. If you are who you say you are, prove it. I'll leave you with that. Let's go get this dub, man. Stop playing with us. Battle blacks. Blackout. Let's put their lights out. Got another one before we get out of here. Be right. LB said if we losing, he going live. He's such a hater. What is he supposed to do? Huh? What is he supposed to do? He's got nothing left right now. All he can do is hope and pray that we lose to make him feel better. He got to understand, though, the threat of us is real. We'll prove it tonight. We're a real threat to them. Unlike Dallas, who had a golden opportunity. All they had to do was go on the road and beat Carolina. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Their threat isn't real, but ours, it is. Of course he's going to go live. We would be doing the same thing, right? We would be doing the same thing. If that opportunity presented itself, it did present itself on Thursday. What did I do? I jumped on early. Why not? Let's not give him the chance. He's already down bad right now. He's sad. Let's make him sadder tonight. Let's make him sadder tonight. Anyway, I digress. Y'all get out of here. I'll see you guys next time.